Alternative names to the top 10 baby names in the US from a baby name expert. I have done this before in many different ways, but these are some of my favorites. Starting with the number one girl name in the US, we have Olivia. And while I love the name Olive, it feels too easy, and I continually find myself thinking about Olivette. It is the perfect alternative because it has enough different sounds, but is still absolutely stunning. Next up, we have Emma, and adding one single letter makes it just different enough, and it is still so gorgeous. What do you guys think of Gemma? I find Amelia to be so tricky because the alternatives are quite popular as well, but I love Adalia. Vicky is another name with lots of vowels and syllables and beautiful nicknames. This will be a bold take, but there is nothing quite like the name Charlotte. It is so hard to replicate, and it is my favorite in the top 10. That said, I'm also obsessed with the name Margaret. We need it to end in a T, and we need the amazing nickname potential, and Margaret gives us that with Daisy, Pearl, Greta, Midge, Madge, and Maggie. And then what do we think of Mara instead of Mia? They're both short and sweet, but one is less popular. I'm always trying to get the name Sylvia on a list, and we have the same amount of syllables, starts with an S and ends with an A. Sophia, Sylvia. Both are vintage beauties. I have Isabella, and I love names that start with I. There's just not as many of them, so I wanted to keep the beginning part and then change the ending. Instead of Isabella, what about Isadora? It's still feminine and playful, and you get that fun ending that you can use as a full name. The best alternative to Evelyn is going to be Elowen. It's got a lot of the same letters, a lot of the same sounds, and it's everywhere. People are obsessed with it, but it is not nearly as popular. Holding on to that V sound, instead of Ava, what about Vera? It's a hot name right now. I hear it everywhere. It's gorgeous. It's vintage. What's not to love? Since we had Sophia on here again, I wanted to go in a different direction, focusing on the F sound. What about the gorgeous name of Fia? You could go with the classic spelling or the more phonetically easier one. Moving on to the boys list, the top name in the US is Liam, and I think Eliam is a great alternative. Just with one letter, it sounds different enough, but still holds a lot of those same things we love about Liam. We have to keep that A ending. There are so few for boys. I considered Ezra, but it had too many different sounds. So instead of Noah, what about Koa? I think this is so cute. Oliver is such a tricky one, and I'd like to suggest the name Tolliver, but it didn't feel right today. We basically needed a name that starts with a vowel and ends in the ER, so I thought of Adler. I think this is a really sweet alternative, and it gives the same energy and style as Oliver. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the best thing about Theodore is the nickname of Teddy, right? And also Theo, of course. But we can also get to Teddy from the name Edward. What do you guys think? Theodore is another name that's really hard to replicate without going to a completely different style, but Edward has those D sounds, and it gives you the cute nicknames. Can we please make Jones the new James? I just love a one-syllable S-ending boy name. Henry is one of my favorites in the top 10, but if you're looking for something that's just as old-fashioned but a little more uncommon, try Harvey. It is so adorable. I had trouble deciding on my alternative for Mateo, but I thought Mario was the clear winner because it was just as short and sweet and international. Instead of Elijah, what about Isaiah? They have the same ending sound and lots of vowels. Instead of Lucas, what about Davis? It also has that classic boy next door vibe, so it makes a great alternative. No, way too many Williams, but you still want that nickname of Will. What about Wilson?